Hi, my name is Kurt Lammy. I am the pastor at St Paul Lutheran Church on Dogleg Road in Dayton, Ohio. And I'd like to take a moment today to think with you about the question, is God a God of mercy or a God of justice? Sometimes when we think about God interacting with us, we think about God's mercy, that God has mercy upon us and God forgives us and God loves us. But then we also wonder about God's justice. We see all of the horrible things happening in the world and we wonder, how could God let these things happen? Why doesn't God do something about that? So we kind of struggle with the relationship between God's mercy and God's justice. Now, for some people, the idea of God being a just God or making judgments, that doesn't sit very well with them because they like thinking about a God of mercy and forgiveness and all that stuff. Well, if we really think about it, we need a God of justice. What do I mean by that? Well, we need a God who says this is right behavior and this is wrong behavior. But God's justice is God's mercy. They are not two separate things. It's not like being either merciful or just. It's both. Let me explain. Think about a parent with a couple of kids. Let's say that one of the kids was hurting one of the other ones. The parent would reprimand the one who was doing the hurting and comfort the one who was being hurt. So there's love for the one who was being hurt and justice. But if you think about it, it's also love for the one who was doing the hurting. Because if God didn't care, God wouldn't do anything. Or in this example, if the parent didn't care, the parent wouldn't do anything. It's because the parent cares that the parent says, no, this behavior that you did to your sibling is wrong. And as a word of comfort to the one who got hurt, the behavior that they did to you was wrong. That is a judgment call, but it is also a word of mercy. Because God, in God's love for us, is saying this kind of behavior is wrong. Loving behavior is right. So it's not that God's judgment and God's mercy are two separate things. Rather, they are the same thing. Because of God's mercy, then God is just. Because you love both your kids, you want them to treat each other well. And even if the situation was reversed, let's say the one who was being hurt earlier then turned around and did something mean to the other one, well, then you would reverse the roles. You would say to them, right, that behavior wasn't right, and then comfort the other one. So it doesn't matter who's hurting whom. The judgment is saying this kind of behavior is wrong. I don't care who's doing it. And you say that out of love for your kids. God does the same thing for us. God is so full of love for us that God does not want us to make bad choices. So this is why God's mercy is God's justice. Please leave a comment and let me know what you think of this relationship between God's mercy and God's justice. Thanks for watching.